Today's date is January 17th or 16th. It's Martin Luther King Day, and my name is Leslie Williams. I'm making this video file today to help people understand what's still happening towards me in San Diego, California. Now, in a lot of my videos, I begin each video with saying that I'm a target of organized stalking, which is also known as gang stalking, and that you can thoroughly go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube and Google and thoroughly look up what gang stalking is. And I have to keep repeating that at the beginning of some of my videos because of the simple fact some people are just viewing my videos for the first time. So people that have already witnessed my videos, just please bear with my videos in reference to me having to repeat certain things. Now, this is going to be what I call a tidbit file. And what I mean by tidbits is tidbits of points in reference to things that have happened towards me, things that are happening towards me, and predictions about what might occur either today, tomorrow, someday next week, and so on. Now, what is happening towards me in San Diego, California is called gang stalking. That's the best way to look it up at Google and YouTube because that's the term that is well known in reference to you being able to thoroughly research it online. You can go to YouTube and type in gang stalking tactics part 1, and then in a separate search part 2, gaslighting, sensitization, slander, and for you to get an idea, because I'm going to tell you something right now, this is starting to get out in reference to what happened to me on an MTS bus. That wasn't an assault by a gang stalker. That individual had been on the bus on previous occasions and had engaged in physical gestures for me to visually see. And that's done to make you feel harassed. And since he's there doing it, it makes you feel stalked because they use different members in the community to do it. Okay, and that's how you feel stalked by. See, what they do is they get individuals along your route to engage in specific physical gestures and specific verbal statements. Then they'll get another person later on in the day to do the same thing. Okay, it's called sensitization. And so what they do is they anchor targets to remember specific physical gestures and specific verbal statements. And this is done so when the people that get along your path and do these things, people you don't know, okay, that makes you feel stalked. And as a result of what they're doing, that makes you feel harassed. Now, this is just a small section of what I put up with. I also put up with extreme cyber surveillance and cyber espionage, like you would not believe. To give you an idea of some of the cyber espionage, again, this is a tidbit file, which is specific points of what's happening towards me, how it happens, and it's not at all to be viewed as the entire scope of what's happening to me because, trust me, it's not. This situation right now that I'm making this video in is a direct result of gang stalking and mail theft and mail delinement. Gang stalking and postal workers. My rent was mailed certified mail, return receipt, and it was literally flat out stolen right out of the mail. It wasn't stolen from a mailbox or a P.O. box because it was mail return receipt. And if you don't believe that that's a tactic of theirs, just Google gang stalking and mail theft and mail delinement, gang stalking and postal workers, and go to YouTube and type in gang stalking in San Diego. There's another target right now in San Diego, another known target by me. I don't know her personally because I haven't been able to ascertain her address, but she's online and Googling and blogging about what's happening to her and YouTubing it. If you go to YouTube and type in gang stalking in San Diego, and I ran across her YouTube on the first page that came up when I did that. Her name is Sylvia L. Morales. And she is saying in some of her YouTube videos that they stole her credit card payment that she mailed, certified mail return receipt. And all you have to do is Google gang stalking and mail theft and mail delinement. Gang stalkers rent apartments adjacent to targets. Gang stalkers run apartments next to target. And look at how many responses Google would generate to you. And then thoroughly research gang stalking, and you'll see that creating homelessness is one of their top priorities in reference to what they do to a target. Because the whole goal is to exploit the destitution to exploit the target, because they have syndicated members within the system. This is about racketeering, sexual servitude, human trafficking, prostitution rings. They're connected to a bunch of nasty individuals in the community, and they're also connected to people that have power positions in the community, people that work for social services, county mental health, the members of the prosecutor's office, district attorney's office, police officers, fire department personnel, usually they're EMS. They're directly connected to hospitals and doctors in hospitals. They're directly connected to certain doctors that have their own private practice. It's GangStalking. I mean, it's organized crime. Right now, you can go to Google and type in a gangstalker confesses, and there's a manifesto literally right now online that you can, by typing that in, you can find it. And what it is it's a manifesto of a person who manages and directs gangstalking crews. He went offline, typed in who they are, what part of what they're capable of, who they're connected to, and how they operate. Okay? He then downloaded it to a USB drive and then went to an internet cafe and posted it online. As a result, it spread like wildfire in the gangstalking community online, as far as how targets get online and research what's happening to them, research what gangstalking is, and so on and so forth. You can clearly read just by looking at the manifesto that gangstalking exists. He flat out says it. Okay? Look and section that manifesto out in reference to the different descriptions of what he's describing, because that's the best way to do it. That way you can go back and cross-reference it to what targets are complaining about, and what's happening in reference to what's happening to them, and in reference to the other tactics you'll find through YouTube by typing in gangstalking part 1, gangstalking part 2, gangstalking and gaslighting, gangstalking and sensitization, gangstalking and slander. Now, let me help you understand something. What a lot of perpetrators will do through the cyber surveillance is they'll get online and watch what a target does. Like if I contact CopBlock, which is an organization that exposes police corruption, retaliation, and brutality. And what they'll do if they see me contacting CopBlock as a result of them cyber surveilling me, then what they'll do, it's a member of the Bureau of Technology. Then what they'll do is they'll literally get online once they see that CopBlock has posted something in reference to me. They'll get online and discredit that information that was posted by acting as just a normal person that's visiting the website, reviewing what's posted, and then making derogatory comments. Like, this article seems too hard to believe. They'll even make derogatory comments about spelling. And I'm going to say something right now, fellow Americans and fellow San Diegoans. You would not believe the audacity these individuals had. They are literally, and I've had blogs written about this up to a year, 2 years ago, about this, that this is one of their tactics that they employ towards me. They literally get online and will edit my post, okay, and literally play around with the spelling and with the words. Why do they do that? Well, because some people who surf the internet and read blogs and stuff like that, when they read my blog and it seems incomprehensible because of the way that they switch words around, delete words and put others in, switch lettering around, which then makes the sequential flow of the explanation and description of what's happening towards me harder to understand. Therefore, it's dismissed. Or they'll get online and they'll literally discredit what's being posted in reference to what's happening to me by making comments that, yeah, I've heard that gang people, this isn't just another person that's trying to say this brutal assault happened because of gang stalking. And it's a well-known fact that they'll say it's a well-known fact gang stalking doesn't exist, and that people that believe that it does and that it's happening towards them is paranoid schizophrenic. Understand this and be clear. This is literally not only what they do, but the type of statements they make in reference to what is closely concerning the target is basically what they do, because the whole goal is to steer away people that are looking at the exposure away from the validity and the legitimacy of what's being exposed. This is literally what they do. It's called disinformation and discrediting. And I want you to know right now that an individual has already done that, and as far as what CopBlock is posted. This is literally what they do. I have literally read so many blogs of other targets saying the same exact thing, that they do this. My name is Leslie, because it's the psychiatric reprisal and discrediting a target is part of their campaign from the get-go, because they go at the targets to take legal control of the target in order to be able to exploit what the target's got. Their monthly Social Security check, they then develop after they get power of attorney of them, then they develop schemes in the homes that the target's put in, and then blame the target on the results of the scheme, which are nothing but staged assaults and incidences. They then blame the target for it, and then use that as a reason to petition the target in the hospital. That's done for the Medicare exploitation, okay? While the target is discredited as a result of having to go to the hospital by giving them a false mental diagnosis. And they also try to entrain targets to get a hold of for prostitution. Then what's entrained is literally stimulated using remote neural monitoring. Now that last statement I made, you're going to have to investigate it to understand what remote neural monitoring is, what brain entrainment is, and how they both work together. But to get a preliminary introduction in reference to how bad this is, in reference to brain entrainment, and then how remote neural monitoring is attached to it, even though I'm not sure if remote neural monitoring is mentioned, is go to YouTube and type in bioethics March 2011 Timothy W. He literally flat out says brain entrainment right on it, and the neurocognitive weapons that are also attached to these type of expeditions. Because when they put a target in a hospital, or when a target breaks down, usually right in the beginning of the campaign that is happening towards them, they either break down and call 911, or somebody who's entered their life either through acquaintance means or friendly means will dupe them into going to the hospital by saying, if you go into the hospital, you can get all these services, because they create destitution. So then they get the target to believe that they go in the hospital, they can get help. That's done for the neural implantation. And if you don't believe neural implantation is not part of GangStalking expeditions, go to YouTube and Google right now and type in James Walbert. Okay, just do it and come to understand. David Larson, right now he's the head of the water department.